Hi, I'm Andrea Klim, and you are watching Turn to the Stars. And today is July 1st, 2014, and I have a really interesting show planned for you today. And as you can see on the bottom of the screen, it is called Reincarnation and Life. Where we come from is very important, but being present in this life and living our lives and living it to the best and the most utmost with the best way that we can is so important. So I'm going to be talking about that on today's show, and I'm also going to be talking about something that's coming up very soon in July 19th. We have our 25th Psychic and Holistic Fair taking place at the Yard Restaurant here in Manchester, New Hampshire from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And this is actually our 4th year anniversary of facilitating these holistic fairs. My family and myself and a really special friend and student of mine, Sarah Barr, are going to be managing the event. So we invite you to join us. On that day, we actually have 12 different types of readings that'll be offered, 2 different healing therapists, and 5 holistic vendors with some really fantastic items. And then we have something that is very dear to my heart, which is I'm going to be offering a very special presentation, and that is going to be on reincarnation, past lives, and your life this time around. And that is going to be from 1 to 1:30. And I think that this is going to be something that will change your life when you hear what I have to present to you. So I have a video that I made to show you everyone who is participating in the fair, and I always try to make it fun and exciting so that we can present everybody equally. So I'm going to play that and be right back. yes, we do invite you, all of us at Turn to the Stars, to join us at the yard on Saturday, July 19th. We do think it's going to be a great day filled with a lot of different experiences for anyone who comes, especially just want to really make a note that the free lecture is really a really special thing. It was something that was just taught to me recently by A.T. Mann, who is an astrologer, author of 18 different books. Very, very brilliant man. And what he taught was about past life, about the Akashic records, and the astrology that identifies these points in our soul's history that are so important toward our makeup in this life. And actually in your birth chart, you can know exactly the time where experiences occurred based on the planetary position in your birth chart. It's an amazing, amazing lecture. So I hope that you will mark your calendar and come see us. Next, I wanted to share with you a little experience I had last night. My family went to attend a concert in Boston at the Garden, and it was Lady Gaga. And I wanted to just say that it was such an incredibly wonderful experience to have. We had such a good time. She's such a gifted artist, and she played the song Born This Way, which she talks about our DNA and about that process that we all have, which is a part of our makeup. Our DNA is what connects us all together, and she's just brilliant. So I wanted to just mention that because it is so perfect for the time we're at in this life, for all of us that are here on earth at this time, because presently, as I wanted to show you a little picture of sort of like a little taste of what I'm going to be talking about at the fair on the 19th. And I have this picture I want to show you. It's called Reincarnation and the Cylinder of Life. And if we could just take the bottom thing off. There we go. This is actually a picture. If you look to the left, you can see all the planets on their path in our solar system and how our solar system creates the perfect cylinder of life, and how the planets show us where we are in the whole universe. And I'm going to be talking in depth about this picture in the free lecture. And actually, the next slide I have here is a very brief explanation, which talks about this cylinder, and that our astrological life in time is lived through a very symbolic cylinder beginning at conception. Life does not begin at birth, it begins at conception. As we age, the cylinder fills up with memories and experiences. And the planets in our birth chart register at certain levels of the cylinder and aspects which connect them through the timeless center of the horoscope. So the movement of the planets spiraling through the cylinder makes a pattern similar to the genetic molecule of DNA. So you see the connection. It was so interesting what we experienced last night. And, I wanted to say that I think Lady Gaga, I've seen her birth chart, and I think that her incarnation in this lifetime is very special because she's come here with a purpose, and that purpose is to teach us all how to survive in a very lighted way in this time of incredible change that we're living in. It is tremendous, and I know every single reading that I do, I am being a cheerleader for my clients who are experiencing the incredible intensity of what is unfolding in their life, and the questions are, how do I manage it? So, that is huge, because we have free will. We can go this way, or we can go that way, or we could find some place down in the middle, which allows us to manage things in maybe a little bit of a less emotional or intense way. But it's very important, our perception and the knowledge that we have of how to do this. So astrology is actually an incredible way to look at the psyche, or the psychological aspects of how to manage life. And that is all seen in your birth chart. There's so much that's seen in it. And so I wanted to mention that, because it is extremely important. And I want to just say thank you, Lady Gaga, for all that you do and all the people that you inspire, because we certainly had a great time. Maybe the 16-year-old inside of me came out for a while. So now I want to talk about what's coming up next. Astrologically, we have a birthday here in the United States. July 4th is the marker of our birth as a country. And I have a chart showing there it is. Happy birthday to us, the United States of America. We celebrate this on July 4th every year in memory of 1776. And this year, though, however, if you want to know scientifically exactly the time that the sun lines up with the sun in the U.S. birth chart, that is exactly at 6:14 a.m. on July 5th. That is the solar return. Marks the uniting of the spirit of the people, and we do come together to celebrate that. So that is a very special time for us here in the United States. So this is actually the United States birth chart, and what we see is the planets as they evolve around us as a whole, as a unit here in the U.S. And we can certainly see that we can, and many people are having this discussion about family. As Jupiter, the biggest planet in our solar system, is in Cancer, we are all discussing in some way the evolution of life, of the family, of our roots, and how we are understanding what security really means in the home. I know the other day I put something out on Facebook, and I wrote, united here in the United States, not even, and I mean, this goes for everybody in the world. We stand united, and when we stand united, there's less of the division, and that is important. And somebody wrote back, actually someone who I went to school with when I grew up, and it said that, the United family is, the United States family is no longer united. And I tend to disagree with that, because we are changing, and people are doing the best they can, and the family is a very important unit. And yes, there is a lot of tension. There is a lot of stress. A lot of people are going through a lot of different things. However, I wanted to bring to your attention that there is this incredible optimism with Jupiter in Cancer, which supports the family as a unit. And so it's important that we're aware of that, because Jupiter has been for the past year in this constellation. And what it is it's inspiring people to be very conscious of their family, where they came from, and what that means to them, and how that's so important as we move ahead. So I wanted to say, just sort of take a quick glimpse at the United States birth chart today, and take a moment to recognize our birth of our incredible country that we live in. And I also want to talk about the full moon that's coming up on July 12th. And I do have a chart that I want to show on the screen. And this is the full moon, which is going to be coming to full light of intensity, emotionally, inspiring us all to do what we can about what we can, to search for the tools, for the ways that we can best manage our lives, our family life, and our responsibilities. And certainly we can see on this full moon that this is a very tension-filled full moon, which is going to really ask us to be present for the little things and to look at things from a very factual standpoint. That's what Capricorn is about. Capricorn is, very straightforward type of energy. And if we have a full moon of light, which is inspiring us to look at things in a very realistic way and to search for those tools that will help us on our way, it's going to be a very great thing to experience. So yes, it is filled with tension. However, we learn through these times of this type of energy manifestation. Full moons are very, very intense. So I did want to point out that that full moon is actually what we call squaring Uranus. That means that, and that's the planet you've heard me call in past shows Crazy Pants, because its energy is very crazy, and it is really affecting people in ways which is making them address the things that they're angry about, address the things that they want to act on, and look at different ways of managing that. It's very important that we all remember that we're not here alone. The North Node in that chart, if I could put that chart back up for a minute, the astrology chart of the full moon, there it is. Down in the left-hand corner, you can see a symbol that looks like a horseshoe, and it is right next to the planet Mars in Libra on this date of July 12th. And actually July 11th is going to be when we see the fullest light of this full moon. But now I'm looking down at Mars very close to the north node of the moon, which is what shows us the direction that we here on Earth need to all go in order to get through this time of change, and that is together. That we need to have balance. Balance is so important with this, what you're seeing in this chart, and communication. So many people are so scared to look or hear the truth. And, our ego does protect us until we're able to do that. However, communicating and realizing that none of us can do this alone. We need each other in order to get through this time of change. And there's a lot of love, and there's a lot of information, and there's a lot of knowledge, and there's a lot of sharing, and, even being like free-spirited to hear that. That's what this Mars conjunct the North Node and this trining aspect to Venus means. It means that relationships and taking action, which is in remembrance that we're all here together, that fulfillment comes by allowing other people into our lives to help us on our way and us to help them on their way. So I wanted to really point out that very, very positive aspect, and that this full moon is in opposition to the sun. Full moons are always opposite the sun, and the sun is in Cancer, and that sun in Cancer really reminds us that if we help each other, if we nurture each other, if we support our families and they support us, and that we listen to each other, that's what a full moon brings. It really says, listen to what other people have to say, and they'll listen to you. But if you don't listen to them, they're not going to listen to you. That's what opposition is about. It's a string of connection. You've heard me talk about this on other shows. It can either be a string of connection or a string of division. And since we are human beings, which are extremely emotional, full moons really do bring out that emotion. And we see this cardinal cross showing up again on this full moon, we are all certainly going to feel. We are going to feel the tensions associated with all this shifting and changing. So it's very important that we dive deep into places that provide us with knowledge and help on our way. And there is also, on this full moon, I want to talk about this also, a grand trine showing up in our universe, which is what I call, in my work, an emerald soul. And the essence of this energy showing up in our universe is showing us all that we are on a path of healing. We're on a path of uncovering the keys to survival and understanding each other and being compassionate to each other and identifying what's not working, what is working, and also shining light, shining our light, our spirit into places that are gentle and kind to each other. We have that showing up in this full moon chart, saying that we will have some relief when we're kind to each other, when we are sensitive to each other, when we are creative, and when we allow our emotions of positivity to guide us. So anyway, those are the topics I wanted to talk about on Turn to the Stars this week. And I am hoping to see all of you at the fair on July 19th. And we have such a great family of readers and healers and vendors that come every single time. And so it's just a really great energy at the fair. So as always, I want to say thank you for all your support of Turn to the Stars, and say, turn to the stars. Remember, turn to the stars. You'll find your answers there. And until next week, take good care. Actually, I won't be here next week. I'm going to be on vacation, but I'll be back just the week before the fair. So until then, take good care. I'll see you then, and turn to the stars. You'll find your answers there.